It's not too awful, but it sounds silly otherwise. Prologue. She felt the fear close beside her on the seat of the car, its arm pressed up against her side like ice. She tried to summon enough strength to speak, though what she might say at this moment eluded her. There was no getting through to someone this far gone, someone upon whom the hand of evil had such a powerful grip. As she stared desperately at nothing, trying to think of some solution, some way out, a strange sense of déjà vu came over her, as if she had suddenly been caught in the vicarious whirlwind of last summer. At that time, too, a car had been speeding along, its driver dangerous and its destination unknown. Was this how it had felt then? This constant chill of fear wrapping you in a smothering embrace, your heart drumming in your throat, your eyes wide, seeing nothing, your hands clasped together as if to hold back the scream of terror that must surely pass your lips at any moment. No, she realized, as the sun's warm glow shone through the windshield. This wasn't a repeat performance of that night, not even close, because this time they were going to pay with their lives. Chapter 1. And. Kristen Radiati creased her brow with effort as she made her serve. Watching the ball make its journey across the court, and knowing in her mind exactly where it was going to land, she leant back with a triumphant smile. That was good. Better than good. That was great. Raising her arm, she looked up at the incomparable Californian sky, trying not to grimace at the pain in her shoulder muscle as she stretched it out. She supposed that was enough for today. 5 hours on the court to perfect a swing that, just over a year ago, she would not have thought twice about. Still, she thought wryly, it paid to stay optimistic. Sighing, she walked over to pick up her denim shoulder bag, which was resting on the ground a few meters away. As she turned from the green velvet lawn that held her dreams in its poles and nets, she saw in the distance a figure making its hasty way toward her. When she discerned who it was, a sigh once again took hold of her. "Oh, Matt," she muttered, "why now? Why today?" Seeing him wave, she reluctantly raised a slender arm, her brow once again furrowed, this time in anxiety. In the interval before he reached her, she stood awkwardly, whilst a dozen different conversation starter possibilities chased each other around her head. "Hi, Matt, how are you?" "Hey, Matt, school soon, huh?" "Hello, Matt, how's it with you?" "Looking forward to Laura's party tonight? Oh, and hi, by the way." "Oh, Matt, I'd love to stay and talk, but I've got to, anything, so long as this conversation doesn't have to drag on, so I don't have to hear you apologize again. Apologize for something which wasn't your fault, but which is totally not okay, no matter how many times I say it is." "Hey, oh shit, time's up." "Okay, Kristen, keep it normal, pleasant but concise." "Hey, Matt, how's it going?" "I'm good, you?" Why did he have to smile like that, she thought, so true, so sincere. Too sincere for you, Kristen, even if you did want him. "I'm okay, yeah." "Good." A heavy silence ensued. Matt shuffled from one foot to the other, biting on his lip. Kristen's insides burned. She tried to think of something general to say, something completely wrapped up in small talk. But Matt, as usual, wanted to do things honestly. "So, you've been playing tennis?" he asked, nodding unnecessarily at the racket in her hand. "Yeah, just practicing," she said uncomfortably. "How'd it go?" Trepidation preceded the words, leering horribly into her face. "It was good," she said, determined not to overdo it. "By the time I was done, I was pretty happy. I'm making progress." The sudden light in his eyes could have blinded her. "That's fantastic," he exclaimed in warm tones. "I'm so pleased, Kristen. I've been worrying about you, how the accident might have affected your playing. But if you're making progress, then, well, that's excellent news, right?" "There's still a long way to go, Matt." As soon as the words were out, she wished she could take them back. The hopeful glow in Matt's eyes died, his head bowed and his shoulders dropped. Even his tight-fitting t-shirt seemed to sag away from his toned chest, as if all its washes were suddenly catching up with it. She might as well have crushed him under her sneaker. Why did she have to do that? None of this was his fault, none of it. The months of endless pain, the hospital appointments, the well-meant and insufferable pity of the physical therapist. It wasn't down to Matt. She told herself this over and over, but every time she pictured that terrible night, it was his face that she saw. twisted with manic laughter, his eyes wide, his mouth open in a giant O as the car sped off the road and into the stone arms of the wall waiting to receive it. No amount of goodwill on her part could change that vision, and so it had been easier not to try, to ignore the calls, to avoid him in the corridors, to shun Matt for the past year, even though his only crime had been that of being the butt of a practical joke that had gone horribly wrong. Thank you.